Hi, I'm Norm Stockton. Welcome to my home studio here in Southern California. I am here today with the Gallien-Krueger 212 MBP powered enclosure. It adds functionality and flexibility to GK's highly regarded MB series of combo amps and heads. In terms of just a bit of background, combo amps that could keep up with the drum kit have historically been pretty big and unruly, right? Kind of to the point that they're you're not getting really the value of the combo amp aspect of it. It's not super portable. GK really kind of pioneered and invented this whole area of high-powered portable combo amps. And the MBP powered enclosures are really a huge step in that whole evolution. You can see here today that I've got an MB combo here. It's kind of turned around so you can see the rear panel, but it's the MB212 specifically, and there's a separate video clip for this, so you can go check this out. I won't spend much time talking about this amp, but it's great. But you can see that I've got an XLR cable, standard mic cable, going from the chain out to the chain in of the MBP. That allows the MB combo amp's EQ and volume settings to drive the MBP. That results in sort of a combo amp on steroids. This MB212 is a 500 watt amp with two Neo 12s and a horn. And that 500 watt amp is allocated just to the speakers in this combo amp. Now that's actually a kind of a departure for most combo amps, because most combo amps that have the capacity to plug in external passive speaker cabinets, you're never realizing the full output of that combo until the point at which you plug in those external speakers, right? Because of the whole area of impedance. In the case of the MB and the MBPs, GK's really figured this out. This 500 watt amp is allocated just to the 12s and the horn in this box. When you plug into this 212 MBP, this is a separate 500 watt amp and two Neo 12s and a horn in this box. So when you plug in this, then really what you're dealing with is a 1,000 watt 412 rig, right? But it gets even better than that, because you can power up to 3 MBP powered cabinets from one MB combo. So you could go from anything in the whole series. There's the 112 and the 115 MBP, which are both 200 watt amps. And then you have the 212 MBP or the 410 MBP, which are both 500 watt amps with Neo drivers. Designed and manufactured in the USA, pretty awesome stuff. What I love about the design philosophy with the MBs and the MBPs from GK is that they've made it where you no longer need to cart around this massive rig when you only need said massive rig occasionally. In the case of this amp here, and I promise not to talk about this, but just briefly, this MB212 is a 500 watt amp with two Neo 12s and a horn. I use this in clinics a lot. It's certainly not underpowered. It cranks, and it works in a wide variety of situations. In the situations where I need more power, then I could just add MBPs to it. In this case, this Neo 212 MBP ends up being a 1,000 watt 412 rig. But it works even beyond just having thunderous volume. Perhaps it's just more for a targeted stage volume type of thing. Say you're stage left and somebody stage right wants to hear the bass more. You could always turn your amp up to 11, and maybe that's the rock and roll thing to do, but maybe a better solution would be to put an MBP stage right, just plug it into power and run a mic cable over and connect the MB to the MBP, and you're done, In terms of the rear panel, you have the power button, you have an AC input, and you have your chain in and chain out jacks. So again, it's a matter of getting an XLR cable, a standard mic cable, go from the chain output of the MB combo into the chain input of the MBP, in this case the 212 MBP. If you wanted to run additional MBPs, by the way, then you would get a separate mic cable and go from the chain output of the first MBP into the chain input of the second MBP, etc., etc. Additionally, if you have an MB head with one of those line-out, chain-out jacks, you can use a cable with a TRS on one end and an XLR on the other end. And if that head is maxed out theoretically because you're running your 2 extension cabinets, passive extension cabinets, impedance loads down, you're maxed out, right? You can still plug that cable into the line out chain out jack and run up to 3 additional MBPs. So, it really affords you huge flexibility, and it makes it where you don't, again, need to bring along this massive rig for everything that you do. You just have MBPs there waiting in the wings when you have need for that sort of output or flexibility. Another thing that's kind of cool, by the way, is that GK has designed it so that whether it's the 200 watt 112 or 115 or the 500 watt 212 or 410, halfway up is halfway up. So you could run one of the 200 watt boxes or the 500 watt boxes, and when you turn your amp up halfway, it's halfway up on both of those, So it's not a situation where one of them is cranking and the other one's barely on, sort of thing, In addition, on the rear panel on the 212 MBP, you also have a horn on-off, so you can independently control whether the horn's on or off on the various MBPs. 39 pounds, super portable, awesome GK tone, headroom, ease, bang for the buck. I always encourage people not to just take my word for it, though. Definitely go to a GK dealer and check this out for yourself. I'm confident you will agree. Otherwise, you can get more information at Gallien.com. But this is the 212 MBP from Gallien-Krueger. Go check it out. God bless you. I'm Norm Stockton. I hope to see you on the road.